It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while since I did a video. There is so much I want to talk about. Um, but I just haven't had time. I have not had time. But today, I think I want to do a quick little video talking about kind of like as a continuation from my last video. I think it was my last video where I talked about dating in your 40s. More specifically, dating with intention. So, I told y'all I hate dating. I absolutely hate it because I feel like there's always this representative that shows up on the initial date, and you're trying to figure out who you're talking to, what you're dealing with, right? And there's always, most of the time, there's a representative there, and you got to try to cut through the weeds, figure out what's going on, or peel back layers. That sounds better, right? See what's going on. However, on the last date I went on, I said I actually felt a little bit more restored with regards to my thoughts about dating. It was a really nice date. Conversation flowed. It wasn't this awkward feeling. And I feel like there was a clear understanding of where we're at after the date. Be a little bit more specific about it because it went left. And I kind of want to talk about that. So, first date, it was just, hey, you know, he came to me, hey, let's meet up for drinks. I say, cool. We meet up. And during the date, he said he had been married before, never wanted to do that again, doesn't want kids. So, in my mind, I put you in a friend category because I don't need a homie lover friend. I don't need that. So, where else would we go? That's your intention. So we can be cool, but there's no expectations of there being anything more based on what you said, right? And I am smart enough to know that I can't change a man. I can't. So a week later, I didn't hear from him the entire week, and he calls me that Friday. I think it was that Friday or Saturday, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing today?" I said, "Nothing. I have to be off today." And he was like, "Well, today's my birthday, and I thought it'd be nice, like hanging out with you. How would you feel about going to the golf course with me and spend some time with me playing golf?" I said, "Well, I've never done it before, but I'm down." So we meet at the golf course, and he tries to teach me how to play golf. It starts raining, so then we go to this bowling alley / billiards place, and we shoot pool for hours. Now, the first time we went out for drinks, he paid. When we went to go shoot pool, I paid. I paid because I put us in a friend category, and I understand that when people are spending money on you, there comes a point in a time when there becomes an expectation, right? So he made it clear, no marriage, no baby. So why would I have this man just keep spending money on me, right? And it's just, we're playing pool. There's stuff at that place that's not expensive. Like, we're not breaking the bank. So, shoot pool for hours, jokes, had fun, bang, good time. So, another week goes by. I don't hear from him all week. And actually, I did. He sent me this one text, and it was kind of a weird text. It was like a joke. So I responded to the text, and I was like, "Is this one of those Laffy Taffy jokes?" Gosh, what was the question? It was something so goofy, y'all, like so out of the norm. And I guess he wasn't expecting a response. I guess he thought I was gonna actually answer the question, so he was surprised by the response I gave. So I think it made him laugh because of the response, right? Anyway, that was one text during the week. So that Saturday, he calls me again. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing today?" And I was like, "Well, Father's Day is tomorrow, and I kind of have this tradition where I cook oxtails for my father. He loves my oxtails." So, and he's like, "Oh, I got a membership at this place in Virginia Beach. They sell them wholesale. I can get you a good deal." I said, "Cool." So I said we can meet up there around, I gave myself like 2 hours because Virginia Beach can be a drive depending on the tunnel and the bridges, right? So I get past one bridge and he texts me, he's like, I'm so sorry, the place, I called the place and they don't have oxtails. I said, okay, well, I'll just go to this other place that I go to that I know has them. And I tell him where it is, and I was like, if you want to meet me there, you can, but, you know, I'm just going to get some oxtails. So he comes anyway. So the place we went to was like this international mart. So they sell food and vegetables and things like that that you would, kind of like an open market that you would see kind of like in the Caribbean. Fruits and vegetables that you don't see in a regular grocery store, things like that. So we were kind of walking around, we're talking about the different things we see, what we try, what we haven't, etc. Purchase of food, get in the car. Well, as we get in the car, he's like, well, are you just going home right now? And I said, well, there's an outlet, a new outlet in here that I thought about stopping at before I go. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm looking for a certain pair of shoes, so I'll go. So we go to the outlet, we walk around, we have dinner. We decided to have dinner. So at the dinner, he's drinking this big margarita and he's starting to get tipsy. And the tipsier he gets, the more quirky he starts acting, right? But it was kind of funny. It wasn't like totally unlike the typical guy that I'm attracted to or that I've dated, right? So he asked me, he goes, you know, I really like you. You're funny. I like spending time with you, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, what do you think about me? I said, well, I don't know what to think about you. I like talking to you. I like spending time with you, but you made it pretty clear that you didn't want to be married or have kids. So where does that put you? Like I told you before, I don't need a homie love friend. And he goes, well, I see what you're saying, but, you know, I just want to put it out there. Okay, boom. He pays the tab, we leave. When we get to my car, he walks into my car, and I can tell that he's tipsy and wants to embrace me. I shut my door real fast. And I was like, talk to you later. So on the way home, my phone starts pinging. Ping, 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 ping. He's texting me back to back to back to back to back. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. I wanted to kiss you so bad, but I didn't know how you would respond. And he sends like text after text of the kissing face emoji. And I'm like, okay, this dude is crazy. I'm talking about like 20 text messages in rapid succession. We had just left this place. Like, I live on the other side of the water, so I'm driving and you texting like this. Like, what is wrong with this dude? So, and then I'm thinking, we've only seen each other 3 times, like maybe 2 hours at the max at a time in interaction. So this is strange, right? So I get home, get situated, he calls me. And he goes, hey, did you get my text message? I said, yeah, I did. And he goes, what did you think? I said, I didn't think much of anything. I thought it was kind of strange. And he goes, well, I was a little tipsy. I'm completely sober now. I hope I didn't embarrass myself. Blah, 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 blah. So in my mind, I'm thinking you most certainly did. But that's okay. You were being you. Right? So we chatted for maybe 15, 20 minutes, got the phone. He called me that following Wednesday. And he's like, hey, I got a job opportunity. Really, really good opportunity. It's going to put me well over 6 figures. It's where I should have been a long time ago. The catch is, it's in Maryland. So I'm like, it felt like he was running it by me as if he wanted my opinion, my feedback, whatever. Maybe even approval. And I was like, so are you asking me what I think about this? And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, if it's what you want, if it's what you felt like you wanted, and that you were where you were supposed to be at all times, you're not married, you don't have any kids, like, what would be holding you back? Like, it sounds like a no-brainer to me. And he goes, yeah, yes, you're right. This is something to think about. And, yeah, I just gotta think about it. So then he gets off the phone, and that's that. Fast forward Friday, he calls me, and I'm thinking, so the past 3 weeks, right, I get a call, no calls on a week, but a call on the weekend. So he calls me on Wednesday, and then again, it's Friday. And he goes, I decided to move to Baltimore and take the position, move to Baltimore, and I took half of my stuff there today. I said, oh, wow, congratulations. And then he goes, yeah, I'm sorry to have to leave you. I was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, I mean, yeah, okay. So then he goes, so would you come and visit me? And I said, well, actually, I have some family there, so it's a possibility. And then he goes, oh, that's great. And he goes, yeah, I'll probably make 2 more trips back and forth before I'm there permanently. I said, okay, cool. Another week goes by, and he calls me. Well, actually, he texts me. He goes, hey, can I come spend the weekend with you? I didn't respond. So he calls me. He calls me that evening because he sent that text in the morning. And he goes, oh, never mind. Something came up, so I wouldn't be able to come here this weekend. I'm like, oh, okay. So then he goes, but if I was coming, would you let me spend the weekend with you? I said, absolutely not. I don't do overnight guests. He goes, huh? Really? I said, yes, really. And he goes, so if you came here to visit me, where would you stay? I said, in a hotel. And he goes, really? I said, yes, really. Well, And then he goes, I could tell it was not what he expected and didn't know what to say, right? So, he goes, well, if you came up here to see your family, where would you be staying? I said, in a hotel. He goes, oh, okay. So, he asked me something else, and I can't remember what it was. I said, listen, I don't entertain men in my home unless I was in a serious relationship. And serious would not just be, serious is serious to me. I'm talking about, yeah, I don't entertain guests in my home. I don't entertain men in my home, period. They're not paying bills. No. I'm sorry, that's just how I was raised. So, we're not getting body counts on mattresses and beds that I pay for. We're not sitting in all of this that I pay for, just chilling. Like, no. So, and people can feel whatever they feel, but we gotta be real serious before we get to that. Anyway, so this guy, I can't remember what he said, but he said something that like kind of annoyed me. So I just remember telling him, listen, you made it clear to me that you didn't have an interest in being married with kids. So I automatically put you in a friend category. You asked me that when we went to the Mexican restaurant. You asked me how I felt about you, and I told you the exact same thing. So I'm kind of confused as to why you would think, or how in your mind that would translate to you spending the weekend with me in my home. Like, I don't understand that. What would we do? Watch TV? Play footsies? I have one bed in my home. So, I mean, and there's a couch, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what would we be doing? So, yeah. And he goes, well, I said that, but I said that because I was thinking I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford a wife and a child. So I'm like, but you've been married before and you weren't making half of what you make now. You're already making over 6 figures. And I know he was. I can't disclose why because of my job, but I know he was. Now you're telling me you ain't even more. And he goes and said, and I said, let me ask you, where are you getting these figures from? About why do you feel like you couldn't afford a wife and a child? Well, it's just stuff that I came up with in my head, you know, just thinking about the cost of a child. I said, oh, okay. And I said, well, I'm one of those type of, I'm more inclined to believe what you told me when we first met. And that's okay. Like, I don't do well with the backpedaling. It's nice to think that I'm so great that I can change someone's mind. But it was very intense. Like, there was even a follow-up question regarding, and I was like, really? You never wanted to have any kids when they first? And he was like, absolutely not. And I said, well, why? And he said, because really more so because of expenses. This is somebody that has investment properties, and that works in IT and makes some very good money. So it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. But if that's your preference, that is what it is, right? I can't change a man. So he was not thrilled with the fact that I told him I'm going to accept what he told me on the first day, opposed to the second day. I said, listen, I do enjoy spending time with you. I do enjoy talking to you, but that's where it ends based on what you said, based on what you communicated was what you wanted. We weren't on the same page about that, and it was my understanding that we were clear about that, and that was okay. Like, so this is too much. Like, I still don't understand how that translates to you spend a weekend with me. So then we get off the phone, and he texts me and says, I don't want you with anybody else. I only want you with me. And sends me these heart emoji kissy faces. I was so annoyed. I ignored it. The next morning, first thing in the morning, it was like 6:30 in the morning. He texted me and was like, good morning, love. Love? Just thinking about you. So I responded, I'm sorry. I do not have a physical attraction to you. I enjoy spending time with you. I enjoy talking to you. But that's as far as it's gonna get. Haven't heard from him since. Now, it kind of bothered me having to send that text because I felt truly confused about it. Like, how did we get there based on what he communicated? Like, I just don't understand. So I was talking to one of my brothers about it, and he was like, Felicia, sometimes, you know, when you meet people, you never know what is going to happen or what might change. And he was like, you know, when I first started dating my spouse, I was not thinking about marriage. I wasn't thinking about marriage to my spouse. And it just kind of happened. And I said, I get that. I get that things can change. But I feel like when you ask someone very intently, you know, where you at? What do you want to do? What, you know, and you say, I'll never get married again as I want any kids. I'm going to believe you. Like 1,000%. Listen, I have never underestimated the impact of having a child. Time, money, mentality, like, it's a big change. And for women, we have to deal with the physicality of it all, right? Stretch marks, all that other stuff. Some women are lucky, some women get surgery after it. No, but you know, it's a lot to it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a lot. It really does take a village. And if you have to convince, to me, I feel like if I have to convince you to want a child, persuade you to want a child, it's probably not a good idea to have a child with that person. And that doesn't just go for women. I feel like that goes for men. A lot of women feel like they can change men. You know how many women, friends of mine, that have said, I thought the baby was going to change him. They knew to me they didn't want babies. And they thought that them telling that woman, telling that man that they was pregnant was going to result in them getting a ring. Ma'am. No, it doesn't. But, anyway, the point of that whole story was, you know, as you get older, you look for signs. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. And I feel like you should be more straightforward and open about things that you want and don't want. And to me, a person that's wishy-washy is like, that's a red flag for me. How do you change about two things that are so serious after spending maybe 6 hours with a person? How does it happen? Before that's what it was. That morning, that next morning, after he said he didn't want me to be with anybody else, he messaged me and said, he wanted me to, good morning, love. Would you consider moving to Baltimore? I said, no, I would not. Based on what? And he said, well, people travel. People have long distance relationships all the time. They travel and this and that. So that's when I said, listen, I'm not attracted to you like that. You made it clear, blah, blah, blah. So anyway. But yeah, it really bothered me because I felt like I was being clear about where we were at. I felt like he was very intentional with what he said that he did not want. So I just was confused with how it changed to that. And there was no physical activity. There was no kissing. There was none of that. So like, where did all that come from? You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna backtrack and say what I said, because initially I'm like, well, the experience restored my issues with dating. But then you fast forward 3 weeks later and it's like, what just happened? What just happened? Yeah. So I don't know. It really, really did bother me though, because I'm not a mean girl. You know, it never would have been my intention to just play all right, say, listen, I'm not attracted to you. But I felt like he wasn't hearing me. So that was as direct as I could be. But I'm very conscious of the way I talk to men and interact with men, because you have to be careful with how you put yourself out there. And I've worked in sales for a very long time. So, and I can be a little flirtatious, right? But I've learned that you got to be so careful with that. You have to be so careful with that, because the wrong person, well, I'll just say this: people don't see and interpret things the same way. And some things that you'll only learn through life experience. But yeah, it overall, it left me frustrated, because it's like, you know, you try to be intentional with people and try to be direct, and it still went left. So what do you do? Now, I'm not ever going to be unintentional and misleading, because that's tacky, and it leads to trouble. I would never encourage anyone to be like that. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story. I recently, I'm gonna leave it by asking this question. There's a gentleman that has been asking me for years to ride with him. He has a 1-year-old child, is now living in my area and wants to take me out. I want to know what y'all's thoughts about that are. Just curious. What are your thoughts? If you need more information, let me know. But yeah, dating in your 40s continues. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a good night.